Hello, guys, and welcome to this episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, your host, and today I'm talking about two things that I'm doing between now and the new year, which is only around the corner, and why every landscaper and really every business owner should be doing. So, if you're interested, let's go to the show. As the co-founders of the Landscaper Circle, we help you get more money, time and freedom to become limitless through our experiences as fellow landscapers and our tried and tested methods. If you want help with your marketing, managing or growing your business, you've definitely come to the right place. If you're a landscaper, garden designer or supplier to the industry, then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show. Hello, guys, and welcome to this episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. How are you? I have changed my background screen because I'm talking to you about some really key things that I'm doing in my business. You should be doing in yours on the run up to Christmas and the new year and basically close down time. And part of my big goals next year is to emigrate and relocate to Thailand. So hence, I thought I'd change the background to something that's quite inspiring, motivating. And actually, in 5 weeks, we go back there for a full recce. So that's why the background is what it is. But in other news, the two things, I'm going to get straight to it because no one wants to listen to a podcast full of fluff. They want actionable key points, don't they? I know I do. So number one is your planning. This is what I am doing and have been doing, ready for 2026. And I don't mean it has to be complicated. I'm not talking about a 40-page business plan. It is all about deciding what you want more of, what needs fixing, and what you want less of next year in your business. You're not trying to predict your future. What you're trying to do is set yourself up so your future is there, so that you are going to create the life and business of your dreams. Like I said, for me, one of my major points is moving to Thailand. It's only 8 months away is our deadline, or our ideal deadline. And everything is kind of working around that, really. So the first action I kind of want you to think about when you're planning 2026 is starting with the end of this year. So starting with 2025, can you review your year honestly? You can grab a bit of paper. You can do it if you like working on the notes on your laptop, that's fine. Or you can just think about it, scribble it down on a scrap piece of paper, or even in a notebook, or even in a journal if you have one. But what I want you to do is work out what actually worked for you this year. So what jobs were the most profitable for you? Now, you might have to do a bit of digging around this because many of you may not have these numbers off the top of your head or know these off the top of your head. Some of you will. You know, it's looking at what clients were the most profitable, what kind of client was the best for you, what clients were respectful, easy, paid on time. They're the kind of clients you want more of. What was the kind of project that you made the most money on? Was it your maintenance? Was it your garden design? Was it your driveways? Was it your patios? Was it your grander schemes? Or was it the smaller ones that you're in and out within 4 days? And also think about, when you're looking at the kind of services and projects that you've done, what did you actually enjoy doing? Because we place a lot on what makes the money, but it also has to come from a place of enjoyment and passion as well. And obviously, on the flip side, I want you to spend some time thinking about what didn't work, what jobs dragged on, what projects did you hate, what clients did you not like, who drained you, who undervalued you, what services are majorly underpriced. Now, you may have to do a pricing exercise for that. Go and check out my podcast, Pricing for Profit. Were there times that you were overwhelmed? Were there times that you were overbooked? What could you do? And I want you to look at that, and I want you to circle the things you want more of so that we can plan this into next year. And I want you to cross through the things you don't want, because we don't want them coming into 2026 with us. We can leave them firmly back in 2025. And then you need to think about what you want from 2026. And I don't want you to think about revenue first. I want you to think about your life first. That is essentially how we've been thinking now, looking at our big goal. And I'm going to keep coming back to that because it's a huge goal for us. It's a huge change. It's pretty brave. It's pretty scary. But ultimately, we are putting life first. We're not putting revenue, because if we were putting money and profit, then we probably wouldn't be doing it initially. Not for the initial period. When we get out there, yes, you get more bang for your buck, so to speak, and we'll be earning a living from the UK. So it won't be earning in Thailand at Thailand wages to spend in Thailand. It's earning a UK wage to spend in Thailand. So, but essentially, the main thing that we're thinking about and the main driver behind all of this is the kind of life we can create for ourselves and our children and our family. And what that looks like for us is less stress, less work, more time together, more connection, less stuff, less crap. I'm planning not to take a lot with me. So you need to think about your life. And yeah, you may not be going to Thailand, but you want to think of next year as, what do you want in life first? So how many days do you want to actually work? And it is possible not to have to work 5 days or 6 days a week. It is possible not to have to work 12 hours a day, but you need to think about what you actually want. Do you want fewer bigger jobs, or loads more little jobs? In which way we need, in which case we need to look at your marketing, we need to look at your client avatars, and we need to plan for that. Do you want time off in the school holidays? That's something that I've always had to drive my business around, is working around the children, because I wanted to be a very present parent and not have to rely on other people for childcare. Do you want a team? And do you want to expand, or do you want more teams? So you're looking to grow your business in that respect, or are you looking to grow the profit but actually make your business smaller? Now, if you've been listening to my podcast for any length of time, you'll know that's exactly what we did in our landscaping business. We went from a very large team, scaled right back to literally just one team, my husband plus one other, and any subcontractors we need to get in at any one time. But we make more profit because the overheads are down, and we can charge more for the expertise. They are getting my husband on site at all times. So you need to think that. And what I want you to do is finish this sentence. So in 2026, I want my business to feel ... What do you want it? Do you want it to feel more calm, easy, more profitable, more exciting, more predictable, more stable, more just more? Do you want it to be less reactive, less firefighting, less stressful? Have a think of what you want your business to feel like in 2026, and then let's plan for that. That is the whole point. Your third action on this number one on my list is to set some simple business goals. Now, you've all heard of KISS, keep it simple, stupid. You don't want to focus on too many goals. So we're talking about three simple goals for you to work towards. And I would encourage you to look at these three areas. Financial goal. So is that turnover? Is that profit? Is that your pricing? One, time or lifestyle goal. So how you want your life to look like with regards to time you spend in your business. And one, systems or structure goal, because you need systems and structure in place in order to move forward to your next level in your business. So I've got some examples for you, which is always helpful. Are you going to increase your minimum job value? Are you going to increase your profit by increasing it by a percentage, 5%, 2%, 1%? Are you only going to work 4 days a week in the business and spend 1 day a week on the business? Are you going to invest in or spend the time creating or making or implementing a proper quoting and invoicing system? Are you going to book work more ahead? All of these things need to think. And if a goal doesn't make your life better, it doesn't count as a goal, to be fair. So the other thing I want you to do, number 4, action 4, is look at your pricing before we go into the panic of January, okay? Because we are now, as a landscaping and garden design and gardeners, we will be looking to close down for the winter and reopen in January. That's normally the norm of the industry. And winter and this close down is the perfect time to reassess and readjust your pricing. It's not only a good time for planning and goal setting, it's a good time to look at your pricing. I would encourage and urge you to review all of your costs. And that is fuel, labor, overheads, machinery, vans, marketing, advertising, labor, all of that, review your costs, identify any underpriced services and see what you can do to alleviate that underpricing issue. Decide what needs to increase and by what needs to go, make a list titled prices I'm increasing in 2026. And even if you're not ready to change them from January the 1st, you've set the intention and you've made the decision to do so. And so you will manifest that into your reality if you keep planning. Again, I would urge you on this major point about planning in 2026 to write it down. I actually sat down and had a calendar to hand and started mapping out my life in 2026. And the first port of call was to map out holidays. I've got one coming up. Obviously, I mapped out my move to Thailand. I mapped out when I'm looking to compete in the bodybuilding stage, on the bodybuilding stage again, which is September. I looked at what were big campaigns I wanted to run, what other content am I looking to do, and we mapped it all out. So it was kind of like a planning for life as well as planning for business, because we were looking at how to market. What should we do? Should we do some webinars? Should we run a discount campaign? What is the campaigns you're going to run to generate clients? When are they going to happen? What needs to happen for that to happen? I.e., do you need to do a big leaflet drive? Do you need to spend some money on online or offline advertising? All of these things need to be put into a planner, and a big, it was quite, I think it was an A3 planner and calendar is pretty good, because then you can highlight dates, you can have it in front of you when you're there. And ultimately, what you focus on grows, yeah? So if you are focused on making 2026 your best year yet, I know we say that every year, then you need to put things into place that you probably didn't do last year. You need to have everything forefront of your mind. I have a note section on my phone with all of my goals, and I read them every day. And that is to really set the intention and also think about how I'm going to achieve these things all of the time. So your brain will be thinking about solutions. So you put your outcome on your phone, you read it every day. It's just something I've got into, and it reminds me what I'm doing this for, what I need to do to get there, and why I'm doing it. So that is all about the planning. And like I said, I don't want it overcomplicated. I don't want you to think this is another thing you have to do. This should be actually quite enjoyable. Looking ahead at your next year, your life and your business should be fun. It should be enjoyable. I had so much fun doing it, as well as came up with lots of different ideas for generating new clients, what we could do out there for business, etc., etc. So it's exciting. It should be exciting. It shouldn't be, I've got to do a plan. It's not a 40-page business plan. It's a plan for next year. And the second part of this podcast is about the importance of taking a real, true, proper break. It shouldn't be an optional thing. So what I don't want you to do is to turn on your auto responses on your email next week and go into Christmas. And then in between Christmas and New Year, decide that you're going to spend loads of time on work. Now, work means going in and fixing stuff, I would say. Whereas if you're going to do any kind of work, it should be more forward thinking, more life changing, as in planning and affirmations, and maybe looking at New Year's resolutions if you want to do that kind of stuff. But it shouldn't be, the bog standard day to day. If you do not take a break, you will not be able to think clearly. Now, I did a whole podcast about taking some time out, so you'll get the gist. But essentially, you are not able to run a good business or run a good business well if you are actually that exhausted and running on fumes. Now, I don't know about you, but I am tired at this time of year. It's, we've lost the sunlight. It's darker days, shorter daytimes, longer nights. It's not the best time of year, and it can make us all feel drained, especially as physical tradesmen like yourselves. You are on the tools, you are knackered, you are working yourselves to the bone every single day. So you need to, number one, decide when you're actually going to stop all work. Choose a clear end date, stick to it, and then put a return date in the diary, okay? Tell clients that you are taking bookings from next year, or we're returning to work on this day if you have some open projects. Okay. Most of your stress will come from not setting those boundaries with your clients, and they think they can get hold of you 24/7 and they can't. Number two, I would encourage you to finish your year very cleanly. And by that, I mean complete jobs if you can, or clearly come to a natural end of or a pause in a bigger project. Send out all your final invoices quickly. Confirm your January start dates with people that you have got open or you're starting with, and tidy up your paperwork. Get your office in order. A tidy workspace is a tidy mind. Tidy mind is, better business in my opinion. And it will also make you feel a lot calmer about coming back in January instead of chaotic because you've got so many loose ends outstanding. Action 3 on this point is to actually switch off. Okay. So maybe you switch off your phone. I don't know, that's scary for some people. Switching off your emails, maybe have a couple of days where you don't actually talk about anything work related and you actually enjoy yourself in the present moment with your family and friends, enjoying this festive period. Take more time outdoors with no work outdoors, if you get what I mean. So take the time to chill, do things that you want to do. For me, it's going to be lots of outdoor walks with the dogs. It's going to be actually going to the gym because I enjoy that. And just do something for you. One of my clients loves yoga. He's just literally gone back to yoga and said how much he felt so good just doing that one session this week that he hasn't been able to fit in for months. So it's really important to take some time doing something that you like, that's not productive in business, but productive for yourself. And the one final thing I kind of want to draw your attention to is we always at this time of year start freaking out about cash flow. Not every single one of my clients, a few of my clients have, we haven't, but you always want financial peace of mind as you go into this holiday period. Okay. It's absolute gold to feel calm and to feel at peace instead of feeling all frantic and terrified, because we all know everything shuts down. People do not respond. So it's important to do these things. You need to chase politely but firmly all unpaid invoices. Do not feel awkward. This is work you've already done and they have not paid for yet. So can you please just get on top of that? Most people just honestly just forget, or just think if they ain't chasing me, I ain't paying it. And I've done that in the past. If people ain't chasing me, I am not paying it. I generally, for me, it works better, is if someone says, can you pay this on the 20th? Like, that's your deadline. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. If you don't put a deadline on and no one chases you, well, then you're not going to pay it if you don't have to, especially at this time of year. You could even just give them a quick call. Hi, Joe Blogs. Just a quick reminder that invoice number 1471 is currently overdue. It's been overdue for 10 days now, and I'd really appreciate it being settled before we shut down for Christmas. Can you give me a payment date, please? Thank you very much. Moving on. And I would suggest that you send these messages now, not after or just before the holidays. Okay. My second tip on this is to start getting your deposits, or not start, you should already be having any deposits in if you've got work starting in 2026. But essentially, the benefits of getting your deposits now for any clients starting in 2026 is it will make you feel like massive less cash stress, because your cash flow is going to feel much more secure. It will also reduce your January panic. So you're not going into the office, oh my God, I need to get the invoice in so I can pay for the materials to start this job. It will also lock your clients in quicker, and, give you that peace of mind that you need, that you've got some money there ready to start the jobs that you need to start. Encourage deposits for any design work, for any installation work, for any maintenance work you've got coming up. Just try and get as much in now, so that not to spend or to, piss up the wall, but to basically make sure you feel stable going into January. Email all your booked in clients with to secure your slot, or if they're open quotes on the fence, to secure your 2026 slot. We're now taking deposits. Get in touch. We need to get them in, okay? Because it's really, really important that you do this. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. I do have a free checklist available for it's like closing 2025, going into 2026. I can send that to you if you email me, paula@thelandscaperscoach.co.uk. But between now and the new year, I don't want you to try to do more. Okay. I don't want you to put that added pressure on you. I want you to think that going into next year, you're going to do things deliberately. You're going to plan ahead. You're going to protect your own energy and make sure that the business supports you, not the other way around. Okay. Planning your life and your business is a gift to your future self. I know you might not see it, but it is the key to get everything you want in life is planning. Okay. Rest is key to productivity. So you need the rest to be more productive and ready to go into 2026 full steam ahead. And if you've got the cash in the bank and your cash flow is super stable and you have clarity around your numbers and where you're going, then it will reduce your stress and increase your motivation more so than anything else. So if you want the checklist, send me an email. If you like this episode, send me an email. I love hearing from you guys. I hear from a few people and it's lovely to hear your stories, how the podcast has helped you, if you've got any questions so that I can answer them in the next podcast episode. I do have an exciting guest in the next, it might not be the next podcast, might be the one after that. But she will be talking about business owners with ADHD and how it's even harder to run the business and some practical strategies to deal with that. And I think it'd be interesting because I think many of us have ADHD or in some way, shape, or form. I mean, they may not be diagnosed. I know some people are, but there's certain things that make it harder to take those steps forward. So I'm quite excited to have her on the show. But this is going to be my last podcast until Christmas. So I would love to wish all you listeners a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I will see you back in January. I will be fully rested. I will be fully planned and ready to go. And I certainly will have the cash flow in the bank to make sure that I feel motivated, less stressed, and with more clarity than ever before. And I want you to as well. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of December and start of January. See you soon, guys.